What toxic family tradition did you break that cost you everything? In my family, no one was allowed to say no to my grandmother. Disrespect, she called it, while slamming her cane against the floor. Every Sunday, we'd gather at her mansion for family obligations, where she'd announce who was getting what from her fortune based on that week's behavior. My cousins would practically trip over themselves, bringing her tea exactly 147 degrees, no hotter, no colder. My parents named me after her, hoping for special treatment. Catherine II, she'd call me with her cold smile, while my father nodded approvingly. Behind closed doors, they'd remind me what was at stake. Millions, Catherine just smile and nod. My older brother James already had a guaranteed trust fund for managing her investments after college. When I was 16, grandmother announced my future at Sunday dinner. Catherine will marry Thomas Wellington's grandson next summer, she declared, between sips of brandy. Excellent business merger. My father beamed, while my mother squeezed my hand under the table. Thomas Wellington was 78, his grandson, Bradley, 32. I'd never even met him. Everyone nodded like this was perfectly normal. I sat frozen. As grandmother continued, she'll drop out of school, of course. No need for education when you're bringing Wellington money into the family. That night, I cried into my pillow while my mother sat at the edge of my bed. It's just how things work in this family, she whispered. I married your father the same way. I started researching emancipation laws at the school library. Ms. Parker, my history teacher, noticed. Everything okay, Catherine? She asked. When I broke down, she didn't judge, just listened. You always have choices? She said, difficult ones, but they exist. She helped me apply for scholarships in secret. The day grandmother announced my engagement party, I found out I'd received a full ride to State University, 300 miles away. I made my decision that night, packed one backpack, and wrote a letter I couldn't bear to say goodbye in person. My brother, James, found me at the bus station. You're throwing everything away, he hissed. Do you know what she'll do? I handed him my letter. Make sure they all get this, I whispered before boarding. The calls started immediately. My father threatening to report me as a runaway. My mother crying that grandmother had collapsed from shock. My cousin saying I'd destroyed the family name. I changed my number, started using my middle name Rachel, and found a tiny apartment near campus. The first semester was brutal. Working 2 jobs between classes, eating ramen for weeks straight. I'd check social media and see my family vacationing on grandmother's yacht without me. The hardest part was the silence on my birthday. The empty chair at Christmas. But I made friends who became family. My roommate Zoe invited me home for Thanksgiving. Her parents didn't ask why I had nowhere to go, just set an extra plate. 3 years later, I was thriving. Dean's List internship lined up when the campus police found me. Your brother's been trying to reach you, the officer said. James looked terrible when I met him at the coffee shop. Grandmother's dying, he said. She's asking for you. I almost didn't go, but something pulled me back. When I walked into her bedroom, the family gasped. My father tried to block the door, but grandmother waved him away. So you chose freedom over fortune, she whispered, her hand trembling as she reached for mine. I wanted to once, she confessed, wanted to be a pilot, but my father, she coughed. I married who I was told never had the courage you showed. After the funeral, the lawyer read her revised will. To Catherine, who reminded me of who I once was, before I forgot myself, I leave my personal estate and controlling interest in family holdings. My father turned purple. She can't, he shouted. The lawyer continued, with the condition that Catherine finish her education and live the life she chooses. My cousins wouldn't look at me. My mother cried in the corner. I tried giving James half, but he shook his head. She was right about you, he said, always was. I used the money to start a scholarship fund for kids escaping toxic family situations.